What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to go over the Spider-Man No Way Home official trailer. Basically, I'm just going to talk about some things, break some stuff down, give you some of my theories. If you clicked on this video, you know it's going to be close to 15 to 20 minutes long, so if you're not looking to stick around, by all means go ahead and dip out. And if you are looking to stick around, I hope you enjoy. It took a lot of work to get all these stills together. Like I said before, I'm doing all this from my PlayStation. So a like and a subscribe and hit that bell for notifications will be greatly appreciated. With that being said, we open up the trailer. And oh yeah, if you didn't see it yet, spoilers ahead. So we open up the trailer with Peter looking busted up. You know what I'm saying? Just basically talking to Mary Jane, telling her how since he's been Spider-Man, she's been the best part. Her knowing that he's been Spider-Man has been the best part of the whole thing. And we still see that. If you've seen the first trailer, you know that he went to Doctor Strange and asked Doctor Strange to pretty much gaslight humanity into not knowing who he was for what happened in Far From Home with Mysterio, killing Mysterio. He got outed by Quentin Beck and whatnot. But you see that's what's going on here with this still in the back, him and Mary Jane swinging through the city, and of course they show some more shots of them just swinging around in the subways and whatever. But next, this is where we have Doctor Strange telling Peter that when he was making all these wants and wishes when Doctor Strange was casting that spell, he messed it up and allowed a whole bunch of other villains from other universes and Sam Raimi universe and the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 universe to enter the MCU. And this is where we get a little bit more of the story, because we come to find out that it's not just the fact that he brought them to this earth, to this planet, and I have some questions about that as well, because I'd like to know, like, is there a version of these characters or these villains in the MCU, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot? Have they not just realized their potential to be these super villains or whatever? Or you know what I mean, they have to have seen this on the news if this was going down, but yeah, nonetheless, would that not basically give them an idea of who they were, maybe, I don't know, fated or destined to become, as Doctor Strange in the trailer said? Because he told Peter basically that these guys all died. All these villains that are coming back died fighting Spider-Man, from Doc Ock, all of them. You've seen all of them. With so far, I think we have 5 of the 6 Sinister Six villains in this movie. So yeah, we got Doc Ock, Green Goblin, we have Lizard, Sandman, and Electro. All we missing is one more, and we could talk a lot. We're going to talk a lot about some of the things that Disney put in the trailer, or should I say edited out or took out of the trailer. Now, more or less, I just want to discuss what's going on with the plot of the movie so far. Like I said, so as Doctor Strange tells Peter that, hey, we got to put them back, we got to get all these villains and send them back and put them back where they belong. And I know a lot of speculation was going around in the first trailer when you see that cube that Spider-Man was holding, or that cube that Doctor Strange was holding. Well, apparently that cube is going to be the way that they contain these villains and are able to send them back to their own respective universes. But the thing is, we find out in this trailer that Spider-Man seems to have an issue with that, knowing that they all died fighting a version of him. He seems to feel reluctant to send them back to doom them to their fate nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? To send them back to their own times, because we know from Kevin Feige that most of these villains were plucked from their universe right at the time as they died. So technically they're not even supposed to be exist. You know what I mean? And he feels, Doctor Strange feels that them being in the MCU could be a danger to the MCU's reality, which is if it couldn't have been in any more danger as it is already. But we get some cool little shots of Doc Ock, more shots of Doc Ock and Spider-Man fighting on the highway. Uh, we also see, if you notice in this shot right here, Doc Ock's tentacles have a little red, a hint of red on them. And there's been rumor or speculation going around the community that Doc Ock absorbs Spider-Man's nanotech. His tentacles are compatible with the nanites that Iron Man designed for Spider-Man's suit, and he begins to absorb them on his tentacles. Now that right there is lovely. That's beautiful. You can see on them right now they got that red tint on them, and I like that. I like the fact that not only the dude, I mean, that what says that any of this didn't exist in Spider-Man 1 or 2 with Tobey Maguire. You know what I'm saying? What says any of this didn't exist in Amazing Spider-Man? And here we're seeing, you know, hey, technology from different universes can be compatible with each other. You know what I'm saying? But we also move on to something. Now this part of the trailer kind of just like, I get it. Peter and his friends are kids still and whatnot, and you know, that's just what they do. They laugh at, you know, jokes. We laugh at some of the silliest shit too as well, guys. I mean, hell, and if you hear anybody fart, you pretty much gonna bust a gut. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they go on to this little scene where Peter is asking Doc Ock what's his name, and he tells him it's Otto Octavius, and they laugh at him. All the while they have him contained in his cell, so it's easy to do such things with a villain as powerful as Doc Ock when he's locked up. You know what I'm saying? That's what you can see here. But it seems like at this part right here, they go on to kind of, it's like Doc Ock and Peter. I don't want to. I'm just theorizing here. Doc Ock and this Peter kind of have some similar relationship, like Tobey Maguire's Peter and Doc Ock did. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something there. Doc Ock, in the end, his character in Raimi's movie he was just a scientist. It was the traumatization of his failed experiment and those tentacles being grafted to his back, which made him, you know, crazy, if you want to say. You know what I'm saying? So Doc Ock could still be that same person. He still got a little humanity in him. He still probably has a soft spot for Peter and whatnot, and that's probably why Spider-Man survives this fight against Doc Ock on the highway. Now in this trailer we got a few suits to take a look at. And we got the one we seen, the Iron Spider suit, and we have this one, which was, I believe, is a suit that's made by Doctor Strange, or, you know, enchanted by Doctor Strange, so that Peter can basically fight these other villains and wrangle them up with ease and get him where he needs to get them. It's a pretty legit suit. If you've seen it back in that other clip that just passed, you got a good Spider-Man pose. And here's the Iron Spider clip, which we seen in Infinity War, which I believe that this is the suit, because it looks like the scene where Doc Ock absorbs some of Peter's nanites onto his tentacles and whatnot. Now, I just don't, the way that the footage is in the trailer, it's kind of out of order. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it is out of order, of course we know, because some stuff happens in day, some stuff we see happen at night, at the beginning and the end, you know. But it's not, it makes it easier to kind of get a concept on what's going on in the movie and how it basically is going to set up what's going to happen later on down the line, especially right at the very end, which we'll go over. But here in this scene, we got Doctor Strange pretty much telling Peter what's going on, giving him the lowdown and whatever, and Mary Jane, of course, being Mary Jane, does Mary Jane things. And this clip right here has me a bit confused. Now, just before this part, you would see a big electric storm coming down over this area, and then you get Jay Jonah, played by J.K. Simmons, looking up in the sky, what looks to be like a smile, as if a sign of relief that this is happening or whatever. and that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I know Jay Jonah don't like Spider-Man, but Jay Jonah also don't like any of the villains that are in the that are you know sprung up due to Spider-Man 2. Here we get a nice wide shot of what could be either the same scene that Jay Jonah was in, or just Electro wreaking havoc in the city. And Electro, let's talk a little bit about some of the villains other than the ones that we and what their roles could be in this movie. Now we know we got Doc Ock and Green Goblin, which have come back, and we have the Sandman, which would be played by Thomas Hayden Church, but we didn't actually see Thomas Hayden Church. All we seen was the Sandman in sand form, and he was mostly big and giant and whatever. You know, we did get the Lizard. So the Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man 2 has come back. Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Jamie Foxx has come back, and we'll talk about that too as well when the picture comes by, because it looked like Jamie looked like they casted him straight out of the or they made him or used the developers who made the Scorpion King movie to make Jamie Foxx. It doesn't look good at all, but the character itself and the classic look of Jamie Foxx, bringing back that classic look of Electro, that looks good. Now, here in this scene, I think this is where Peter and Doctor Strange came to terms, or had a disagreement of what had to happen with these villains. Doctor Strange wants to send them back, doom them to their fate of dying, keep things in order. And Spider-Man, like I said earlier, is feeling a bit, I don't know, guilty. I don't want to do it. I'm gonna help. So I guess this is where him and Doctor Strange face off, which in my opinion will be an absolute one-sided fight. As you can see here, Doctor Strange seems to make quick work of Peter, and in this shot, I didn't get the picture, but in this shot, what he does is he creates a portal in front of Peter, which Peter shoots his web at, which comes out of the portal behind him and locks his leg up, which allows Doctor Strange to then whip him on over to him and punch his soul clean out of his body. This is where that scene comes from. This is what led up to that scene. Now, it was kind of inevitable, you know what I'm saying? We already seen it happen, and we were wondering what the deal was with Spider-Man, with Doctor Strange attacking Spider-Man. People were probably thinking, and they never paid that off, people were probably thinking that he was under control or whatnot. But it seems like in this trailer, he is his normal self. You know what I'm saying? And he seems like that Doctor Strange who is, adamant about the same Doctor Strange that was in Infinity War, pretty much. How he said he'd let Peter and Iron Man die if it meant keeping the Soul Stone. Well, it seems like that's what he's saying. Like, he don't want to hurt Peter, but he can't let Peter good nature stand in the way of total catastrophe in this reality, you know what I'm saying, by letting these villains stick around. But like I said before, what says that these villains aren't already there? They're just not there. They're just not their villain counterparts yet. Now here we get a closer look at Doc Ock's tentacles absorbing Spider-Man's nanotech onto its grafting it onto the plates and the whatnot, and onto the arms. And yeah, he is flabbergasted about it in hell. You can even look at the little tentacle over his right shoulder as he is looking like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It got that, even though it ain't got a face, you can see it's got that what the hell look on his face. Now here's the clip, the picture of Jamie Foxx that I was showing you as Electro. Now tell me, yeah, I understand that it would be a lot of CG involved and whatnot, but do you think that they could have done better than this? And also, I sense a villainous quarrel amongst the Sinister Five so far. You know what I'm saying? I really think that what I said earlier about Doc Ock and Peter, building some kind of a relationship with each other or whatnot, will basically lead to, Doc Ock maybe not 100% wanting to kill Peter or whatever, accepting what it is and maybe trying to help him. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like he did in the second movie when he basically brought down that reactor on top of his own damn head, so it could stop, which in turn saving the world or saving New York City. You know, you and I say that because if you see here in this clip right here, look at this beam, and this beam is hitting the building where Doc Ock is falling from, as if, I don't know, maybe he was aiming at Doc Ock or whatnot. I don't know. The trailer just dropped yesterday. The movie don't drop till December 17th. The internet world is going crazy. We just speculating the most from this movie because this trailer was the shit. And if you've seen it, man, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Now, here in this picture, I tried to get the best shot I can. This is the best that I could get. Spider-Man jumping, as you can see in his left hand, he has the cube, and I'm assuming at this moment is where he is, I don't know, wrapping up things. I don't know, maybe it might not be toward the end of the movie. It could be because they're at that same scene as they are the rebuilding of the Statue of Liberty, which looks like it'll be the statue of Steve Rogers, because if they have a big shield that slams down at the end of the trailer, and you can see that it's the Captain America shield. You know what I'm saying? It seems like, I guess those characters are in this universe, or it's just a signification that they are really gone. You know what I'm saying? They build monuments to them and whatnot. And yeah, so far we've seen paintings on the side of buildings and murals of Tony, but I ain't seen no statue yet. So I guess we'll get to see exactly what it is, you know, because I did see the Statue of Liberty in the trailer too. So yeah, we'll see. But here we get a nice shot of the Green Goblin, and I've heard speculations that it's just Willem Dafoe's voice, not Willem Dafoe in the suit. If so, that is a L in my opinion. Willem Dafoe is one of the best actors in the world right now. Not having him in this movie is pretty much like saying this Spider-Man movie with no Spider-Man, pretty much, you know. But here in this clip, this is what gets me. Here's a look at Green Goblin without the helmet. You can't really see his face. He looked like he was coming from the sky. He's slinging some of his blades at Peter or whatnot. But answer me this question. Could this be Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin in this movie, coming from Amazing Spider-Man's universe? So could we have two goblins, which has existed before in the comics, having two goblins at the same time? So that never right there was quite interesting. And we get another shot of what appears to be the spell that Doctor Strange was casting. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is the same spell or is this something close similar to what it is, as far as maybe Doctor Strange actually succeeded in sending back the Sinister Six, and in doing so, this was a result of that. But also, what we're going to talk about at the end was also a result of this as well. Now, here we get a badass shot of Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard getting ready to face off against Spider-Man, and this scene in particular has the internet going absolutely crazy, because in the side shot of said scene you have these three launching themselves at Spider-Man, who is launching himself at them as well, and it might be in the next shot coming up, so we can get okay. So this shot is believed to be edited. It's supposed to be three Spider-Mans on this scene, because look at the trajectory of the villains. They're not launching directly at Spider-Man. They are as far as coming his way, but they are not going at him. And if you've seen any of the videos online, you see that Lizard gets kicked in the face by an invisible entity. That invisible entity could be one of the other two Spider-Mans that should be in this shot. So after that, we get some, acrobatics of Spider-Man during this shot. He bouncing off of Sandman's hand, but at this point is when we get we can hear for the first time Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. And when I heard that voice, man, I'm telling you, it sent chills down my spine. Basically, he was telling Peter that it's hard to want to do what you want to do with your life when the world wants you to do what they want you to do with your life. You know what I'm saying? Basically, in so many words, that's what he was saying. Not like he was doing it in the classic Willem Dafoe, the Peter. You know what I'm saying? It was legit. Willem Dafoe in this movie is man. I'm just happy they bringing all these characters back, and we getting this type of movie. Now, it's not exactly comic book accurate, but nonetheless, this is the story derived from the comics. So yeah, in this scene we also get another clip that pays homage to one of the old Spider-Mans, Mary Jane, of course. For whatever reason, her and the other friend that Peter has are there at the fight between superheroes and supervillains, and yeah, she plummets off the top of the structure and whatever, and we get that shot from when Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man fell off the bell tower, and just before Gwen died, we get a shot mirroring that shot, mirroring the sequence of Peter diving down to catch his love. You know what I'm saying? And of course, and we know what happened to Spider-Man 2. Gwen Stacy dies, but this is not the Amazing Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man from the MCU. That is Mary Jane, and we know that Mary Jane and Spider-Man are a must in the Marvel universe. So we get that little tense moment. Will he catch her? Will he not? And yeah, man. Look, like I say, and I said before, I'm not a Spider-Man fan and whatnot, but I am a fan of what the MCU is trying to do. Now, I might sit with everybody else as far as what Eternals had to bring to the table, but I did like Shang-Chi, and I am looking forward to the new She-Hulk show, and especially seeing, I don't know which direction they try to take this in, because I called it a while back. I said that, hey, when the MCU after Endgame, the MCU was going to struggle, and the only thing that they were going to be able to cling to, because they got rid of so many iconic characters, was Spider-Man. Well, we're seeing that right now with this trailer. We're seeing that right now with this movie, and yeah, I can't wait for December 17th. I'm actually thinking, and look, I'm gonna take my family out to the movie. To hell, watching it at home. But here's the scene I was talking about. After that, the rings exploded around what's the name. Here's what we have here, and I don't necessarily know if this is the same scene, but Doctor Strange is at the top of Lady Liberty, and it looks like reality is tearing in the sense of Loki's timeline tearing. I don't know. Maybe fucking what ifs tearing. You let me know down in the comments what you think Doctor Strange meant when he said that they're all coming through, and I can't hold them back. Who's coming through, and why can't the Sorcerer Supreme hold them back? Guys, that's gonna be the end of the video. You let me know what you think about the trailer. What's your speculations? Hit me up. Let me know what you think is going on with the movie. Drop your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you made it this far, you the real MVP. My name is Bearded Beanie Brother, and I'm out. Peace.